Quest 3 has arrived, or at least it will tomorrow. Thanks to Meta, I had the chance to check this device out a couple of days early. Today we're going to talk about what it comes with, what to expect from visual upgrades and mixed reality, and after spending hours with it in the studio, is this a worthy upgrade or best first-time VR purchase? Let's get started right now. Let's talk about the Quest 3. First up, what comes in the box? Well, obviously you're going to get the brand new Touch Plus controllers. These controllers are similar to the Quest Pro controllers. There is no ring on the outside, and they fit really well into your hands. For my hands, at least, they actually feel like an extension of my hand now without that ring, and they're light enough so that they don't feel hefty like the Quest Pro controllers. To me, I see that as a positive. They don't feel cheap, but they feel light. The strap, the wrist strap thing that comes with it, still not my favorite fabric style. The buttons feel nice, triggers feel nice, and the grip buttons all feel very familiar. Not a lot has changed on this aside from the fact that they do have no ring. Unlike the Quest Pro controllers, they do have a removable AA battery. And one upgrade to the Touch Plus controllers that I do really like is the fact that instead of having to push on the battery door to pop it open now, it actually has a button that unlocks the battery door and slides it out of place. Way easier than fussing with the door and trying to get it to come off. This does come with regular AA batteries. The charging dock, we've talked about that before, comes with rechargeable ones, or you can swap them out for rechargeable and recharge them yourself. Now, aside from those controllers, obviously it comes with the actual Quest 3 itself. It does come with the standard strap. Now, the standard strap is okay. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's way better to me than the Quest 2 strap. I actually like the forked design at the back. I think it actually balances the headset better, although the headset is smaller and closer to your face, so it probably is one of the reasons it balances it better. But the way this works is you actually pull out on the two tabs on the back to tighten the headset, and then you just pull on the headset strap itself, and it loosens it. Really easy to use. I find it easier than the Quest 2 strap, and I like it better. The fabric is pretty much the same, and it's stretchy, but like I said, it does fit better on your head. The biggest issue I had with it is that after a while it actually digs into your ears, the tops of your ears, or you can put it on the outside of your ears and it kind of pins your ears to the side of your head. But yeah, after a while you can start to feel that strap, so I definitely would recommend getting something different, and I'm going to be experimenting with different straps for this headset. The facial interface is actually not as bad as the Quest 2. It actually is fairly comfortable in comparison, so I wouldn't even mind keeping that on there until I can get something better. On the bottom, you'll see the rocker button for the volume, as well as that 3-pin connector for the charging dock. There's also a wheel that allows you to adjust the IPD, and as I've talked about before, the IPD is stepless. It's just adjustable. You move this back and forth with your thumb while you're in the headset, and it moves the IPD out farther or in farther. It's not stepped like the Quest 2, which is a big improvement, although the pancake lenses are going to help a lot with that anyways, but we'll get to that in just a second. On the side is the power button along with the jack to plug in the USB-C. It's actually on the head strap connector this time, which kind of gets it out of the way, I guess, and then the headphone jack is on the other side. The front obviously has those cameras and sensors and everything that does the pass-through. We'll get to that in a second as well. Obviously, the sensors for the controllers go all the way around the edge. There's been a lot of questions as to whether it's actually going to be able to see over the top of your head, and if it's going to have a lot of issues with tracking over the top of your head. I can say that what I've done in testing over the top of my head has seemed to work really well. There were a couple of times when I kind of got it up really high and back behind my head that it lost tracking, but overall, it actually, even though they seem to be facing down a little bit more, they actually function pretty well, or really well, actually, and consistently. But before I get ahead of myself, the last thing in the box is actually a box. In a box that includes the power brick, and you've got the power cable, and obviously the booklets. And that's everything that comes in the box for the Quest 3. How did it go while I was putting it through the paces? Well, I've got a lot of thoughts on this. And let me preface this with saying that I think the device is a fantastic upgrade to both the Quest 2 and the Quest Pro. Those luscious pancake lenses, to my eye, actually look even better than the Quest Pro. The higher resolution display pops everything in the headset and makes it look really good. And the OS is snappy. It turns off and on in a matter of 12 seconds. I actually timed it from reset to power on in being in the menu. It's about 12 seconds, which is pretty darn fast.
And the menus function really well, especially with the direct touch and the hand tracking. All that stuff functions extremely snappy and quick. Overall, tracking functions really well, even in mixed lighting. I tried it in a couple of different lighting setups and a really bright lighting setup, and it worked really well. Mixed reality was fun. It functioned well. It scanned my room really well. I've got a lot of stuff in my room because I have film lights that aren't up off the floor yet. I'm going to hang from the ceiling, and I've got a ton of stuff in my room right now after having redone the whole thing. And it did really well. Obviously, there was things like my light that didn't scan properly because it's on a skinny light stand, and it just didn't scan that. But the depth sensor works really well to set up a Guardian very quickly, or to set up your room for mixed reality stuff really quickly as well. It's actually pretty awesome to be able to walk around your room and see things fairly clearly, quite clearly, and have it scan everything in a very short period of time. It's clear enough so that when I did the setup for the first time on a Quest, I was able to actually look at my phone and get the code off of the Quest and type it on my phone without removing the headset, because you can actually see your phone screen through the actual screen. Now, I wouldn't want to look at a computer and do editing and all that stuff through this. That's not that clear, but it's definitely clear enough to get information off of it, or to glance at your phone and write someone back and check notifications or whatever. Now, when it comes to battery life for the Quest 3, I consistently got around 2.5 hours, somewhere between 2 hours and 2.5 on a full charge, and then charging the headset took between 1.5 hours and 2 hours. And that was charging it over the course of several times from a dead zero. Pretty on par with Quest and very similar to Quest 2. There are a handful of games and more coming that are being upgraded with visuals for the Quest 3. Like, I tried several games. Like, I tried Guardians Frontline, and it looked really good. It definitely had higher clarity and better resolution, and there was more in the scenes. And I played Resist, which looked fantastic on the Quest 3. If you haven't played it, then it's a fantastic looking game now, even beyond the game itself. It's hard to really put in terms what they look like on the screen, because you're just seeing a recording. All you can see is if the game gets visual updates based on like resolution bumps, or clarity and sharpness, and because they add sharpening to it, or bloom, or any of those things. And while those things are cool, it's hard to see the real difference, which is how much more crisp things look in the headset. The additional power that the Quest 3 has for these updates and new visuals is 1000% noticeable. And some of the mixed reality games that I played, like Broken Edge, I tried the Broken Edge game in mixed reality, and it was really cool. And I tried the First Encounters game again, which was really cool. I played a piano game that was essentially learning how to play the piano in mixed reality, and you could switch it to VR if you want, and you could use a real piano, or you can use a virtual air keyboard and do it on your desk. And it was fun. It was cool trying to learn to play the piano, and it worked really well. Pass-through works. The clarity of pass-through is actually quite clear. And it's funny because I got an update as I was actually starting the device. When I registered the device, it was downloading an update, and I could see the pass-through. Immediately when I updated the device, I could see a difference in clarity for the pass-through. It looked clearer. I don't know if the algorithm they were using to get the visuals right changed, but the 3D looked clearer, and the whole image output looked much sharper and more colorful too. So it's obvious the updates are going to be able to do more for the mixed reality and for the pass-through cameras. And I think that there's a lot of potential for other games too. So the mixed reality side is really kind of fun, and I'm very curious to see what comes out of that. I want to mention one quick thing about mixed reality, and I'll talk more about this in future videos, but my wife actually played mixed reality, and unlike VR, actually loved it. Not only did she enjoy playing it, she actually has been asking to consistently try new experiences in mixed reality and play more of First Encounter to see if she can beat her high score. Keep in mind, she does not like VR because she doesn't like the closed-off separation of leaving the real world behind, and it's always made her dizzy and uncomfortable. But like I've mentioned before, mixed reality, I believe, is going to be a massive stepping stone, and my wife is a prime example of someone not at all interested in VR, but that wants to play more mixed reality and continue to try experiences. She actually said she would buy a Quest 3 just for mixed reality, and it's the first time I've heard that, but I don't think it'll be the last. As I was spending time with the headset and trying different games, I want to mention one thing that did stick out to me. No matter how good this device is, and I honestly think it's great for what it is, and even for the price, it's a great upgrade because of the clarity and the additional power, and there's mixed reality. But my biggest gripe so far, I think, is the hardware is great, but the software is really no different. What I'm really running into is that even though these games have visual upgrades, am I really going to go back and play these games again? And initially I thought that I would, and maybe I will do more because they honestly look fantastic. My issue that I'm finding is that even though the content's great, am I really going to spend hours of time replaying the same games that I've played just because they look better? Let me know in the comments if you would, like if you plan to replay games on the Quest 3 or if you're getting it for new experiences. But I wish that they would have launched some big games that really utilize what the Quest 3 can do so that we can have that showpiece, you know? Red Matter 2 is a showpiece. I've played the game on the Quest 3 and it looks stunning, but is it going to draw you in to replay the game just because the visuals are better? Maybe to experiment with what the Quest 3 can do, you know, which is cool, but are you going to play the whole story campaign just because it looks better? That's kind of my question I'm struggling with right now with the Quest 3. Honestly, the Quest 3 is a fantastic piece of hardware. It's faster, it's higher resolution, it's smaller, so it fits tight against your face, and the balance is way better, even with the standard strap. The speed at which things load and play in this is night and day. Everything's snappy and quick. The high resolution blows my mind every time I see something colorful and it looks amazing. Speaking of colorful and looking amazing, the new menu system, because you can load into a real VR menu system, not just your pass-through, even though I use pass-through most of the time. It looks fantastic, and it's like one of the most colorful, crisp things on the Quest 3. It's a really cool showpiece, as you're seeing here on the screen right now. I mean, the pancake lenses alone make this a worthy upgrade over the Quest 2. It's just overall a great device. And if you're looking to jump into VR for the first time, this is a wonderful way to do it because you're going to get the best possible experience if you can afford to jump in at that $500 price point for the 128 model. If you've got a Quest 2 and you want to upgrade to the best and the newest, I definitely can say that it is a huge upgrade, and I recommend doing that if you want the best of the best, or if you want to play mixed reality, and if you want those updated visuals. There's no exclusive games for the Quest 3 yet, so if you're buying just for exclusives, it's going to be a little while. I'm really excited for this brand new hardware. I want to be more excited, but I want bigger games. Now, don't get me wrong, it is a worthy upgrade, even just to play current games, and updates to these games with the new form factor, awesome lenses, and more power. But I want to see those games. I got hyped because I played some really cool demos at both the New York Press event and at Connect. And I cannot wait to play those on Quest 3 and just to play them more like Assassin's Creed. But I wish they would have launched it alongside of the Quest 3 because they're really not launching any big games alongside of this headset aside from some updates for current games. So for those buying the headset, they're not really rewarded with a huge, expansive experience that really utilizes the Quest 3. They're rewarded with updates to games that they already had, which is cool, but feels kind of lackluster to me. Maybe that's why I feel a little lukewarm on the whole launch. I love the device, but I just want to be excited about new games on it, and it's at least a month for a lot of these games, sometimes 2 months if you're talking about Asgard's Wrath 2. I know that sounds nitpicky. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Let me know in the comments what you think.
There you go. There is the Quest 3. What do you think? Are you grabbing one? Are you excited to get one tomorrow? Maybe you've already bought one, or you're going to wait and see how things go. Let me know down in the comments what you think. And if you want to pre-order one still or purchase one after it releases, there's a link down in the description that you can click on. It is an affiliate link, so it supports the channel, but it does not cost you anything extra. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to keep up to date on all things Quest 3. And as always, happy questing.